Congratulations to the Tennessee Volunteers as they will open up the Josh Huepel era at 1-0. They beat the Bowling Green Falcons 38-6, and there were some really good moments. It was a pretty good showing for the team, and I'm really excited about the future. I am cautiously optimistic though, as Bowling Green isn't exactly the greatest opponent in the world, but in today's video I want to talk about the game, what I sort of saw from the team, what we can expect moving forwards, and I just want to talk about the game. So yeah, right before we get into it, nearly 80% of you guys are not subscribed, and I'm going to be doing a ton of analysis of college football games this year, so you're not going to want to miss out on any of that. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss on anything, and hit that like button as it helps the channel grow. Now let's get started and talk about Tennessee football. So as we quickly go back in time, Tennessee football has struggled a little bit over the years. Going way back in time, they had Lane Kiffin, and he was starting to bring them back to relevancy, but as we know, he jumped ship. From there, they hired Derek Dooley, who was the son of the legendary Georgia coach, but he struggled tremendously during his era, and he was eventually fired. They hired up-and-coming hotshot from Cincinnati, Butch Jones, and he recruited well, had some star players, and did have some moments of brilliance, but at the end of the day, he could not get the job done, and he was fired. From there, Tennessee looked at Nick Saban's staff as they hired defensive coordinator Jeremy Pruitt. He recruited pretty well and had a lot of hype. He beat Auburn in his first year, and the future was looking pretty good for the Volunteers program. They lost to Georgia State and BYU at the beginning of the 2019 season, and while they did rebound and finish the year strong with a bowl win, it still had Tennessee football fans upset. Going into 2020, Tennessee was ranked, and after starting out 2-0, they ended up getting beat pretty badly by Georgia, and the season fell apart from there. It only got worse as there were some recruiting violations that went on, and while we really don't know what is going on with that was the nail in the coffin for the Jeremy Pruitt era, and they had to move in a new direction. They also hired new athletic director Danny White, and he brought in a coach that he was very familiar with. The guy was Josh Huepel. He was a quarterback for Oklahoma back in the day, and while he didn't spend a whole lot of time in the NFL, he was going to have a future in the sport. He ended up getting into the coaching realm, and his first big job was the offensive coordinator position for Oklahoma. While he was fired from that position, he rebounded his career at Missouri, where he helped coach up Drew Lock, and then he was hired as the next head coach of UCF. While some people claim he got worse as he went on, I am a Huepel defender, as I'm not saying he's a national title winning coach, but I think he is a capable Power 5 head coach. Enough of all that though, the Josh Huepel era started today as the Tennessee Volunteers opened up at home against Bowling Green. There was a lot of intrigue because they didn't exactly have the quarterback or the running back spot figured out. There are going to be three different guys battling it out as Michigan transfer Joe Milton came in, Virginia Tech transfer Hendon Hooker came in, and then they had redshirt freshman blue chip recruit Harrison Bailey. Caden Salter was kicked off the team and Brian Maurer transferred, so it was going to be those three guys, but apparently during the offseason, Joe Milton showed that he could be quarterback number one, and that is what ended up happening. He started the game tonight, and we're going to talk about that more in just a second. Moving to that running back spot, they lost both Eric Gray and Ty Chandler, and they would basically need an entire new army at that spot. Tonight, the rushing game was spectacular for them, and what is an absolute shocker to me, the running game is going to be the strength of this team this year, and I think it changes the outlook of this season. Opening up this game, Bowling Green had a poor first drive, and then Tennessee got the ball. Joe Milton had a combination of quick passes, screen passes, and handoffs, and Tennessee easily went down the field and he had his first touchdown of his career. He looked really great on that drive, and that really reminded me of that Josh Huepel offense at Missouri, because most of you guys know I'm a Mizzou fan. The next drive was a lot of the same, and after a big pass to Jalen Hyatt, the new running back Jabari Small took it in for a 1-yard touchdown. I am very impressed with Small, as for a while many believed Tyon Evans would be the starter, but I heard a lot of rumblings as the summer went on that Small was going to be the guy, and tonight he proved he's going to be a key player of the future, and I'm really excited for what he is going to do. Small ended up carrying the ball 23 times for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns, but that was not all the running game had to offer. Tyon Evans also carried the ball 16 times for over 100 yards and 1 touchdown, and he led the team with 7.3 yards per carry tonight. Not only did those two make an impact, but we also saw the quarterback Joe Milton carry the ball 14 times for 44 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then we even saw the true freshman Jalen Wright get a couple of carries as well, alongside Marcus Pierce. I'm really excited about this Tennessee football rushing attack, as it wasn't just one guy, and everyone seemed very capable of moving the ball. While yes, this is against Bowling Green, and I don't want to overreact, as an outsider looking into the Josh Huepel program, I did not think the running game would be their strong suit, but that could be what they lean on. In terms of the passing game, Milton was alright. He made a couple good throws here and there as he went 11 of 23 for 140 yards and a touchdown, but he had plenty of overthrows, missed some wide receivers, and in general his accuracy just does not seem there yet. I saw a lot of Tennessee fans complaining about him on Twitter, and A, that annoys me because I do believe Milton played well and it's going to take time for him to develop, but B, I think Milton is on the right track to becoming the quarterback Tennessee needs. So yeah, as I said, Small had that touchdown on the second drive, and the Volunteers had 159 total yards in the first quarter, but from there, things kind of got a little bit slower. They did bounce back in the second half as they had a 72-yard touchdown drive, and once that happened, the game was pretty much completely done. Bowling Green did put up a little bit of fight in that second quarter and was hanging around, but the Volunteers figured it out in the second half, and even got to a point where Hendon Hooker got a chance to take some snaps. I knew because of Hooker's experience that he'd get a chance to play this year and compete for the starting job, but I'm pretty shocked that Harrison Bailey has fallen that far off. Many people projected him to be the superstar in the future of this program, but after only a year, it already seems like they're kind of moving in a completely different direction. Maybe it's a disconnect with the coaching staff, maybe he has not developed the way he was supposed to, or maybe there is something else going on off the field, but if things continue like this at the quarterback spot, there is no way that Harrison Bailey does not enter the portal and leaving for a new school. Overall, my takeaways from the game is that Tennessee's got a good rushing attack, the quarterback position is on the right track but not there yet, and the wide receiver spot does need a little bit of work. Jalen Hyatt led the team with 4 catches for 62 yards, and Cedric Tillman caught the lone pass. And there were a lot of drops, and it seems this receiving core isn't quite there yet either. I was surprised Velus Jones didn't get a whole lot of targets in the passing game, as I believed he was going to be one of the 3 starting guys, but we will see how his role continues on for the future. This is Bowling Green, so the defense didn't exactly have the toughest matchup in the world, but I thought they played pretty solid. They seemed very energized, they made tackles, and I think they're going to be able to compete. Tyler Barron and Theo Jackson seem to be the best 2 playmakers on this team tonight, and I'm curious to see what other guys step up. So as we look ahead, the Volunteers are now 1-0, and they will play next Saturday against Pitt. I am really excited for this game, as this will really show how far Tennessee has come and where they are at. No one expects this to be a blowout game, as I do believe these teams are very evenly matched. Pitt may have a little bit more experience, but I think with this game being on the road, it's pretty much even. I'm super pumped to watch that game, and if they win that and beat Tennessee Tech, they will have a lot of momentum going into their SEC schedule, as their first SEC game will be on the road against Florida. While I do not expect them to win that game, who knows what'll happen, and things could get interesting. I still think they 100% beat South Carolina, South Alabama, and Vanderbilt, and I think they're either going to beat Missouri, Kentucky, or Ole Miss. And right now I still have them at 6 wins, but more and more of me is starting to believe they're going to beat Pitt in week 2 and potentially get that 7th win. What do you guys think though? Should I do more videos like this recapping teams' games? If you're a Tennessee fan, what were your thoughts on this first game? What are your expectations moving forward? And what topic should I do next? Be sure to let me know down in the comments section, and check out my playlist about everything that is going on with the 2021 season, as all my videos about games, news, and just everything that's going on is going to be in that playlist, so be sure to click that if you want to be covered on everything. Before you go, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and check out all my other videos on the end screen. I hope to see you guys again soon, but until next time, peace.